Hey, Mayor Derek Wood, host of the Elected and Engaged podcast. We are your voice for local leadership. Each and every week, we bring you a local elected official to tell you how you can get engaged or elected in local government. Local government is the foundation of how things get done in your community. Today, we got a special guest for us. You heard about him. He's been in the headlines. He is America's youngest mayor out of Earl, Arkansas. Jaylen Smith got elected at 18 years old. He's now 19, believe it or not. I know he still looks young. And he really got involved to make a difference. Knew as a graduate from high school that he wanted to be in local government. Welcome to the Elected and Engaged podcast, David.
Thank you, Mayor, for having me. I'm honored to be a part.
Listen, tell the people, first of all, what inspired you to really get engaged in local government?
Well, honestly, being a part of student government in high school really showed me that I could be more within my community as far as going from attending city council meetings, state legislative meetings, from court. And so I know that I could do the exact same thing because what we were doing in high school student government was actually similar of how to run, be a mayor in community. But honestly, what really sparked me to really take it forward was I honestly just got tired of students graduating Earl High School to go be great somewhere else, but never come back home. So I felt like I can be great at home and then be even greater somewhere else.
Wow. So when did you first get the desire to be in the Student Government Association?
So I joined the student government my seventh grade year in high school. It was back probably 2015, somewhere in there, 16 somewhere. But my seventh grade year, which I got the desire to be a part of student government.
What was it that, did somebody recruit you, or how did you first decide that I want to run?
Well, honestly, when two guys approached me and asked me to join the organization, my first answer was no. But then I went home, I looked myself in the mirror, and I asked myself, do I believe within me? And so shortly after that, I went to my room and I prayed and I asked my creator to guide me in the direction that he wants me to go. And so the next day, I got the green light to join the organization, and I've been in it. I joined it and was in it ever since.
So what were some of the things you accomplished from 7th grade to 12th grade being as part of the student government?
Well, honestly, just being general advocates for better education, student with learning disabilities, and lunching, but basically overall just being the advocate for better opportunity for education for students in the school district, and particularly, I was the advocate for student with learning disabilities, which I had in high school. And so I wanted to make sure and ensure that every student with a disability had the same opportunity that other students have. And so when I graduated high school, the state and the school district made it more fairly to a student with a disability to do the exact same thing regular students do.
Who guided you in your student, or who made a big impact on you? Like, who's that person that helped? Could you say two guys came and got you to run? You said no, went home, talked to your creator said yes.
Yeah. So two guys was number one. One of them name was Mayor Jaylen Smith, and another one was Demetrius Johnson Jr. Was those two guys that was going to ask me to be a part of this organization.
And what impact did they play in your role while you were in student government?
Well, honestly, they were the two guys that were really heading the organization in the direction, and I was just, the background person and really doing other things, but they were really made it impactful because, they were motivators, they were true about the organization, what we were doing. They really wanted more. Because it was more to be done, and so they always was like, let's do more, we can do this, we can do that, and so we continue to do that.
What would you say to looking back now over those last 9 years, like what would you say to a young Jaylen just getting involved and wanting to get engaged in the student government, like on that level?
Well, honestly, I would say number one, do what your heart desires you to do. Stay focused, understand that there's going to be obstacles, challenges, and distractions, but there is nothing but preparation to the greater day that you're trying to achieve or trying to get to.
Wow. So what do you think some keys to young people being engaged? Like, I love the fact that you said that you saw that everybody was leaving Earl and nobody was coming back, right? So like, I think one of the catalysts for getting involved is you get frustrated. You were kind of angry?
Yes. Yes, I was angry because, leaders don't help the community grow. The people that reside in the community, the people that come back and invest in the foundation, what makes our community grow. And I believe that. So I believe that firmly. Like now, with me being the mayor, as a mayor, we only can do so much. But the people have to show some kind of inclusion or involvement to help us move our communities forward.
So now take us through the process of you graduating and now you deciding you want to go from being student government to actually being the mayor of Earl.
Right. So when my senior year in high school, I was still in student government. When I graduated high school, my last year, I had just turned 18, and I went to register. I went to go register to vote. I announced to my constituents that I wanted to be the mayor. I had 4 other people that were running against me to become the mayor as well too. But the thing of the matter is, I talked to residents and youth about let's really move our community in the direction that it need to be moved into, because I believe, like I told my constituents, I believe that our city was put in the position for a purpose, so that when that greater day come, we know what to do. And so when we go back to what we went through in the previous, we know how to deal with it. We can just laugh and say, hey, we went through this. We know how to resonate. We know how to resurrect and continue to move forward.
I don't know if they caught that, but you said that you knew your community had a purpose.
Yeah. I knew it had a strong purpose because everybody in the community is talented in some form or fashion. So the purpose of our community is, number one, we're a community of love, we're a community of family. And so that purpose was, the purpose of the community is, number one, to grow and succeed. And so I knew that was the purpose. So I continued to, show people this is what the purpose of our community is. And how can we do that is with inclusion, everybody working together to achieve that common goal we're trying to achieve.
And so, what was the greatest challenge? Knowing that when you ran, you were running against somebody who was 4 times your age. How old was the?
Oh yeah,
he was.
They were very older than I was. The mayor prior to me, he retired, so I had other people. We all ran with no experience. No one that was running for the race had experience to be the mayor.
But but technically, you had experience in community engagement.
Correct.
Right? You think about your engagement, you were engaged from 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, right? So you came in with 6 years of student government advocacy experience, right? Oftentimes we talk about here is in being engaged is more important first than being elected. And so you was engaged in your community and you raised your hand to run against these 4 other people. None probably had the type of experience of engagement with the community. So I think, what role do you think student government helped in you organizing your campaign to get elected?
Student government played a big role because with the student government organization, it's just like a form of government action. And so with this organization, we knew what the pressing issue was. We knew what the target, the goal we were trying to achieve. And when I ran my campaigns, still being in student government, the Student Government Association helped me get elected into office because we knew what the pressing issues were. We knew who to talk to. We knew what our targets were. We knew what we could spend time doing, because at the end of the day, the student government was number one. We are still 100% of our future. So if we don't get involved now, why would we wait till later? Because this is our future we're living in. It's time. It's our time. It's now.
Yeah.
And I believe that I can have the opportunity to do great things at the age of 18, because we all can see people committing crime and going to jail for this. But how many people honestly take the role and take the faith to really become and run a city or run for public office? And so that's what student government is.
This is probably the pressing question. When people hear that you were 18 and got elected, what were the qualifications for you to run for mayor of your city? Like, what did it take for you to get elected?
Honestly, you really don't have any qualifications. All the qualifications you need is that approve from your career. That's it. And when I ran, I had people till I was too young. I didn't know anything. I just graduated high school, but I didn't know what people told me negatively to define what I was trying to become at the age of 18. Because at the end of the day, you have two different types of people. You have good people, you have bad people. But your bad people are a blessing to you more so than your good people, because your bad people are sharpening you for a greater time somebody else is gonna come and pressure you.
Y'all better rewind that. That's a bomb.
So I'm just beyond grateful. I just believe that running a city in this journey, our life journey, because I believe I don't like to know everything, because if I knew everything, I would have no faith. And so I just take it day by day by having faith and trusting in God to really lead in one of my steps. I just continue to write the vision, make it plain, and it'll come in a point in time.
So tell us about the process. Now you on the ballot. Tell us what it took for you to do to get that student body, like an organizer, to win your election.
So honestly, I just pulled and juggled the people that were registered to vote. I just called them to make sure they came to the polls and vote. And it's really just, I mean, the day of election day, hey, I need you to get out here and vote. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. But everybody came out to vote. The people made it. The people of Earl, Arkansas made it clear who they wanted to be the mayor. And then so it really wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be to get people to vote. And actually, they came out and represented well.
Wow, it's good. So now that you're elected, I know your first year has been a whirlwind. You became member of multiple associations, including the African American Mayors Association, U.S. Conference of Mayors. There's been many outreach and pouring. You've talked to the president. You've been to the vice president's house as well. And tell the people now, once you got in, like not knowing what to expect, and now that you're in, tell us a little bit about that process and how that year has been.
Well, that year has honestly been good. I've, as you mentioned, been down, president and VP, been a part of ALMA. You had also the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and also being a part of the U.S. Conference of Mayors and ALMA is a whirlwind, because we're being a part of these organizations, you're coming together not only with you as a mayor, but other mayors around the country to really talk about the pressing issues in our communities and really tackle those pressing issues with opportunities and resources and efforts with resources from the federal government, such as the president, his cabinet departments. And honestly, being a part of it just really has been amazing, because everybody's really been helpful. Really, what can they do to help move our communities forward? And that's really what you need. People that's telling you, hey, what can I do to move your community forward? And also about having those follow-up conversations to see what can you do to help me move my community forward? Because being a successful mayor is through partnership. It's through partnership with your local, your county, your state, and your federal people. And not only with those people, but also through private partnership. Because as a mayor, we have unlimited power that we do, but it's to help us move our respective cities forward is through public-private partnership.
What was the biggest challenge you had to overcome to begin building partnerships and the relationships? What do you think one of the biggest challenges you have had to overcome?
Well, honestly, I think for me it's just with saying I'm gonna help you, but then don't help you, and so really juggling that and really understanding politics talk. And so then having people that say, hey, I want to help you, and when you make the follow-up email, they follow up and really trying to help you. And so really I overcame that, because I didn't understand it in the beginning, because I had a lot of people say, well, I want to help you do this, and that. But having those people really help you is really a blessing.
What has been your biggest accomplishment over your year?
So my biggest accomplishment in my career is bringing a grocery store back into my community within 1 year of 1 year in office. And so people said it was impossible, but our creator said otherwise. And so we brought a grocery store back into our community to kind of help pivot food insecurity in our community.
How did you do it? You know, somebody that's elected right now, they're struggling. It's so many other communities that have food insecurities. What were some of the steps you took to bring in that grocery store?
Well, I believe in so much we have not, because we ask not. And so actually having those conversations of how can this organization, which is Dollar General, help us really, secure food insecurity? How can you help us really get people to really have groceries versus to having them drive 20, 30 minutes to another city to get groceries? How can you help us really curb this issue? And they came in and they built the grocery store from ground up. And so our food insecurity part of them is really kind of declining, and that's what we want to see versus increasing, because we want to, as a community and also at that business, they want to ensure that we are providing and giving people meals and food that they can go buy versus they're not having any food. Because a lot of people in Earl don't really have adequate transportation to really get to another city, because a lot of people in Earl don't have, they're on fixed income. And so we're seeing that, and we're seeing those numbers, but we want to make sure that we're providing them with a service in our community. Not only that, we've been doing a food distribution drive twice a month, every month, for the entire year 23 and the entire month 24, because we want to ensure that people that can have food they can have in their community versus always going to the grocery store. We want to help provide that to them.
What advice would you give to people, not only in Earl, but in municipalities, towns, villages, cities, all across America about how can they get engaged with their local government without being elected? What would the advice be to that person that's watching and listening?
Well, honestly, get involved in your community because you don't know what you don't know, and so it's very important to understand what's going on around you and why is it happening. And so, for me, before I got involved with really involved into being the mayor, I want to really know why the administration was doing what they're doing. Because at the end of the day, it goes back to the people because the people really own the city. And so, if people don't know what's going on in the city, people in office that have been relaxed, they can do what they want. A wise man once said, "Leaders become relaxed in the community when those around them allow them to." So, people in the community have to hold your leaders accountable. You have to get to the table and really see what's going on, understand and educate yourself to really see why they do what they do, what available fund they can tap into, what can they do and what they can't do. Because having an understanding of what's going on, it will help you better move yourself forward and really understand the involvement of municipality.
Somebody is saying, Mayor, but you've been in student government. You knew how to get involved. I don't know where to start. You know, I was at a point where I didn't even know local government existed. I didn't know that there was a mayor or a city council, right? Because they didn't reach out to me. So if I want to get involved in watching this, how do I get? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, so honestly, I'll say step one, find out when your council meeting is. Secondly, go to that council meeting and really listen of what they're talking about. Then thirdly, if you want to dive deeper into that, contact your city council member. Or you can contact the mayor and schedule a meeting with your council or other mayor to see, hey, how can I be more efficient at being involved? And they're going to tell you what you need to do to be involved. And if that don't work, I would say, just keep pressing. You know, you have state legislators. You go down to the state legislative sessions and see what they do in state capital city for legislation, and you contact them and see how can I be involved in the state legislative process, and they go to check down that as well.
That's good. What would you say to that other person who says, you know, I'm beyond being engaged. I'm beyond now going to the city council meetings. I'm beyond having meetings with the mayor. I'm frustrated. I think that I want to run for office. What advice would you give to somebody who wants to get elected in local government, whether it's the mayor, the city council, the school board, or the local government? And then why is local government important?
Well, I'll say local government is important. I'll back part of that first. Local government is important first because that's where the action happens. Local government, everything's happened and the results happen within local government. And so it's very important as mayors because we see it. We see it and we're involved in it every day of what's going to happen in our communities. Then going back to the first part of the question is, I would say number one, think before you make the decision if you want to run for a city council member seat or a mayor seat, because it's not easy. You have to have those crucial conversations of when you're talking to your residents of number one, what is your vision? What is your mission? What are your goals? What are the expectations that you want to see within your community? And once you lay those out, then after you lay those out, you just listen to your residents because more than likely, 90% of the time, whatever you have on your list, they're going to repeat the same thing. But the main thing is not listening and really understanding how your residents really see. Because at the end of the day, your first statement is, "I'm not God. I can't make a miracle happen." But what I can tell you is what I want to work on to really move our city forward. And also be inclusive. Be inclusive with your residents. Bring them to the table. Let them talk. And hey. At the end of the day, you have to final decision, but it won't hurt you to bring residents to the table and say, hey, what do you think? What decision you think we should make?
It's 4 years from now. You just came to the end of your term. What do you want to be able to tell the residents that you've accomplished in your city? You're going to look back on or listen back to this audio or watch this video. What do you want to be able to look back and say, I've accomplished this as mayor?
Well, I would say we accomplished this in our 4-year term. The goal was in the 4-year term would be to increase our population double than when we started in 2030. And so I want residents to see, hey, we set goals, we had a mission, we had a vision, and we had goals that we set aside. But how far did we come within those goals and mission that we put out for? And so if we accomplished half, we did greater than where we started. So we want to continue to really make improve those goals to really move our community forward. Because again, it's a we thing, you know, and community members really have to get involved in that process to really understand, hey, I can't do this. It's not an I thing, it's a we thing. So how can we collectively achieve these goals that we put out front for our community?
Wow. Tell us, how has being elected mayor changed for you, right? Like, what were some of the changes? I mean, from speaking to organizations now that probably want you to become members and join. Tell us about some of the changes now and how it has helped you to grow your leadership as mayor.
Well, honestly, my entire life changed December 6th once I got elected as mayor. From being on news media outlets, from traveling the country, speaking to people, being in meetings, being involved in organizations. And that really changed my life because I never expected this day to really occur. But God said,
wait, had you ever left Earl outside? Had you ever?
Yes.
You,
I've never traveled like I've been traveling before, but I always left Earl as far as vacation to explore different things. But as far as traveling, working like I am, I never done that. And so I was open to that when I got mayor. I was open to that because I wanted to see different things, see the other side of the world, really have those crucial conversations, go to speak at different meetings. But honestly, with going and traveling the country, my leadership skills have really increased and developed more because at the end of the day, everything we do is all about leadership. How can I be a great leader with motivation, with inclusiveness, with communicating to my residents, to being approachable? And so I believe that all of those elements are increasing, and I'm growing, and I believe that people, I believe I want people to stay truthful to me, because at the end of the day, people that are truthful to you, that people help you grow. And so within these organizations, you have mayors that are being truthful, but they're only just trying to help you go up to the next level, and I believe in that so much.
What do you think the central theme of your administration as leader has been so far?
Well, honestly, prioritizing what's mainly important to our residents in the areas of public safety, economic development, infrastructure, education, also supporting small businesses. So our focus are into those principles of my administration. So my administration, not only that, my administration has really been big on education, not only to our students, but to our residents that don't have a high school diploma. Our administration is providing those resources to really help them go get an education, give them job skills training to really go get jobs. But at the end of the day, without some kind of education or without some kind of job training skills, we can't attract what we're trying to attract. And so we've been relevant and very proactive with trying to provide those to our people in our community.
That's good. Has there anybody that you met that you were like starstruck since you've been the mayor, or that's reached out to you? What was like one of the most impactful? This is just some fun fact type of thing.
Well, honestly, the presidents, everybody don't see the president, meet the president, and so I was on a panel with former President Bill Clinton, and I was, you know, and I thought about it. My President Clinton has always been an Earl. He was the governor for governor of the state of Arkansas, and then when he was the governor, he was always an Earl. When he was president, he came Earl, and so he kind of knew the issues that we were facing, and I was just shocked when I came in the meeting. But president, vice president, and secretary of departments, everybody don't get to see and talk to them, and so and also being among mayors as well too, because everybody don't see mayors either. I talk to mayors because we're so tired of trying to really move our communities forward and see the great opportunity we see.
What advice would you give to the Elected Engaged podcast listeners? Anything that you want to tell them about being elected or engaged? Why listening and hearing the voices of local government is important?
Well, I would say number one, whatever you're trying to do, or whatever you want to do, just be dedicated, stay focused, be committed, and be passionate. And in the arena you're trying, or the arena or field that you're trying to go into, because at the end of the day, if you're not doing those things, how can you be effective? And I would be a good listener, and I would be truthful to yourself, and always allow people to be truthful to you to help you grow up to the next level. Because every job and everything you do, you always have another level. And I always remember this quote by a wise man late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in comfort and convenience, but where he stands in time and challenge and controversy.
Wow. It's powerful. How can the people get in contact with you, your social media?
So I'm on Instagram at Mayor Jaylen Smith, same for Facebook, Twitter, all the names are the same, Mayor Jaylen Smith.
Spell Jaylen for me.
Jaylen.
Yes, yeah, I know they spell it. Thank you for watching the Elected and Engaged podcast. I've been your host, Mayor Derek Wood. Make sure you share this podcast so others can see this episode and really learn the inner workings and to hear from the America's youngest mayor. Make sure you leave a review and you comment, because your comment and your reviews help us to grow the reach and to help more people get elected and engaged.